Good morning, guys. How's everyone doing today? We'll get all of our chats popped out here. I hate that I didn't make the stream last night, guys. I've been feeling like I've been dealing with, like, I guess allergy, sinus infection or something since yesterday. So I've been feeling a little rough. My eyes hurt. Maybe it's because I stirred up some allergies from cutting grass the other day. It's the one thing. How big is our 15-minute gap this morning? What about 20? Let's check that out real quick. We do have a pivot here at 43. So 42 to so what's that? 30 points, 15 points. That's a nice size this morning on the 15 minutes. All right, getting everything set up. Let's see here. The freaking move overnight was just insane, guys. What was that? Like almost a 300 to 400 point move. So, and you know how that is. Most of the time, whenever we have like massive moves in the overnight trading session, the next day just sucks. So I'm hoping that's not the case. Usually with this big grind up, hopefully we're not stuck in between two consolidation areas, because that's a lot of wicks on both sides. So it could just be one of these things, man. We're just wicking back and forth until we get out of that range. Unfortunately, we're back at all-time highs again. We made a new high. We hit the 30,800. Or maybe this thing just wants the 31,000. Maybe we just go straight up here at the market opens. But shit. I don't know. Market's just been insane lately, guys. This is like the 10th or 11th straight green day that we've been on again. So it's just like we get pullback. So this is why I've been so anti-short lately. I mean, we get the little shorts. Don't get me wrong. We get little scalping short pullbacks. But as far as looking for big move shorts, man, it's just best to stay away from those things. I mean, I think that's all the shorts that I've taken recently. They all been just scalping plays. They haven't really been, let me look for a big short to the, a big move to the downside. So I feel like it's going to be a very tricky open this morning. Yeah, that is almost the way that I've been looking at it lately, darling. I'm just looking for longs until longs just don't work no more. That's probably been the best way. I mean, basically all my trades lately have been longs, even though I've had failed trades on long, but that's just because I won't sit through big drawdown. So on most of my funded accounts, usually I try not to have more than a 20-point pullback, and I'll just take my small loss and move on because we're rotating through accounts. So we're trading what, 4, 7, 9 different evals in funded accounts. So 5 of them are funded, or 6 of them are funded, and 2 are evals, I think. No, 3 are evals. So we're just rotating through our accounts. This way, you're not trying to, because I copy traded yesterday, and I shouldn't have done that because I took the one loss that I had yesterday. Yesterday was the copy trade account. Everything else I rotated through and I was green, but the one account I decided to copy trade, that's the account I took the loss on. And that was my funded accounts. Man, blew 3 funded. See, I don't usually do a lot of funded trade in the nighttime in the Asia market. I don't feel as comfortable trading the Asia market. I feel like sometimes I find myself on the wrong side of the trade in the Asia market, and sometimes I'll have to try to do a little DCA to get out of it. So, and I don't like doing DCA in where I have the dollar cost averaging in on my funded accounts. I don't mind doing it on evals, but as far as my fundeds go, no. You'll never see me try to average back in with a funded account. I'd rather just take my loss and move on to the next trade. So my average loss with those accounts are usually 120 to 130. Yeah, I saw that, man. We pulled all the way back down into the 500s and went up over 300 points. So insane move overnight. My only thing with the big moves in the overnight, darling, a lot of times if we get those big moves in overnight session, the New York could suck. So like right now I usually take this mechanical trade here at the opening where we're looking for longs and short right at the opening out of our 15-minute candle. But this thing is going right into the previous day high. Look how many candles. I mean, you got what, a whole hour of wicks? Man, that's why I'm feeling like this morning can just be so choppy for us. So just be aware of that. I mean, look, wicks, back to wicks. I mean, it's just more wicks. There's just wicks everywhere. So I'm kind of hoping that we just blast. Honestly, man, I just hope we either tank to the bottom, rerun the lows from overnight, or either that we get above this here, use this as our support, even though we're trading into all-time highs again, which the price is never moving nicely in the overnight high. When it gets in these all-time highs, the price action almost has a Asia feeling to me, where it's going up, going down, going up, going down, like 10, 20 points over and over, trying to work its way up. I don't know if you ever noticed, like in the overnight session, you can never go to break even unless you got a fairly big, decent move. But most of your overnight sessions, it's always back and forth. So this is kind of price action that I actually kind of like in the overnight session, where we're just making constantly new highs and pulling back, new highs and pulling back. That's the type of price action that I like to trade in the night on my evals. And what I'll do is I will pull fib on every single move that we do on the pullback, looking for 50 to 60% on the pullback. So Unfortunately, I didn't trade last night because I was not feeling well. So if you start just pulling fib on this and just looking for 50 to 60% pullbacks after it's already ran its high, most of the time, this is what I look for whenever I'm trading to the Asia market. That has seemed to work probably the best for me in the Asia market. I also like to do this mechanical trade here at the opening. Unfortunately, we may not get that this morning. We would have to have this pull back into our 9 o'clock 15-minute candle, and I don't know if we'll get that or not. Because if not, we'll just have to watch it for a few minutes and just maybe look for a normal funded trade on the elusive accounts this morning. We're trying to build some buffer on these elusive accounts. We just got these, well, I just got the second one last week. I've been waiting to get that second one before we started trading it consistently. And I think we made like $400 last week on these, like 200 a piece on each one, not necessarily 400 total. So we're up 261 and 208 on those two fundeds. I did get my very first My Funded Future funded account yesterday, so I haven't taken any trades on it. And the rest of them are just my normal Bulanox accounts, and those are the ones that, yeah, that's what I like to do sometimes, is build myself a little buffer. That way I can take a little bit more risk. But I try not to never over leverage though. Most of my trades that you'll see me take, especially on my fundeds, are usually 3 micros, 4 micros, 5 micros. You know, every now and then I may throw on like 10 micros or a mini or something on a 50K. What's up, Crash? Yeah, sorry I didn't make it on last night, man. I've been feeling kind of under the weather last night, man. I like fell asleep like at 7 o'clock last night. Like my throat was hurting yesterday during the early morning stream. Man, it says I sold 1 share in Nvidia stock after a year and it dumped all the way. Hard coin. What a rich. Huh? Good morning, prayer kid. I don't own any stocks. Like just random stocks. Yeah, dude, I'm not feeling good today. Like I think I got like an allergy, like a sinus infection, because I mowed grass yesterday, 2 days ago, and that's really the only thing I've done different, because I don't really go nowhere. I stay home all the time, besides, you know, family coming over. So I don't know if either I got something from family members or I got an allergy infection just from allergies doing yard work. So I don't know. Like my throat was super irritated yesterday, and I just did not have it in me to look at screens last night. I'd like to see a big dip, honestly. I wouldn't mind this being a ledge and this thing just come bowling down on through here, break the 700s. But who knows? I will consider a short on mechanical. I don't, that's taking a short into the VWAP. That's even tough to do on this mechanical trade. If you're looking for a mechanical trade. I almost thought about doing a stream today with just no camera, just because of how I felt today. All right, 1 minute till the market open. I haven't really looked to see what kind of news we have today. I thought I heard someone say this is possibly non-farm payroll. You got an order sitting at 670. I just don't know if we're going to be chopping back and forth today. I just feel like we got so much wicks all the way down. I just don't know if it's going to be like that today. That's funny, prayer kid. I got this other crash man in my other lobby. He's got a order sitting at 670, so I think he's looking for a position down there too. All right, let me get this ready here. I'm not really feeling this opening trade this morning. I don't know. You're not really supposed to do these mechanical trades that way. That's usually a mistake. All right, 20 seconds left. We did pull back into the range. A lot of times, oh, look at there. Don't get trapped on these nasty 5-minute candles, guys. There's a pivot at 668. Man. It's best just to kind of sit on the sidelines here at the beginning here. Well, we're at the whole numbers, back at the current day high here. The Nasdaq don't care about your dip crash, man. All right, new all-time highs again. Man. Yeah, you kind of hope this is going to be a manipulation candle here where the next candle will print red. But who knows, man? It's like, golly, man. It's like, what's driving this thing? Unless oil is tanking. Oil could be moving down. That's probably what's causing us to move straight up here with oil tanking down. Now we do have a pivot, like I said, a pivot sitting at 68. And we just kind of bounced off that pivot too. Or we bounced off what, our 21 EMA on Rico's. Man. What's up, user? Ooh, look at her. Maybe. A little trap to the top side here. Wow. Nice prayer, kid. waiting for the 700. I would have liked to take that short, but the fact that it's at the 700, you just cannot grab that for the first push into the 700s here. So that was our first 70 hit. So you'd like to see that 75 get hit. See that 75 get hit where I put that at? That's what you want to wait to hit, then see if it's going to run back through there. I'm going to use that 87 as kind of my stop loss here, because this could come back up to the 700s here. Ah, fuck. Oh no, I just realized where we're at, dude. Godly. I just realized that we're at the bottom of this 4-hour candle. God dang it. I just realized it too. Dang it. I just realized that. May get stopped out on my runner here, guys. We're at a 4-hour low, so I just see this coming back up. Be careful. This thing could reject here. Like I said, I just realized we're at these 4-hour lows. I may just get stopped out my runner. All right. I did that to be on the safe side because we just ran a 4-hour low. So we'll just we'll wait and see what happens if we can push back below that 4-hour. That's why I have these marked out, and I wasn't focused on that at the moment. At least we got our 10 points. We just didn't get anything off the runner. Did we reject off the... That's what these purple boxes are. These are 4-hour candles. Wow, this thing just trapped on both sides of the 4-hour candle. Ran 4-hour high here. This is the current new 4-hour high. So you could almost anticipate a 50% pullback of the current 4-hour candle. We have 40 seconds left for a new 5-minute candle. And midnight opener, if you wait, is that the midnight opener right there? Yeah, I think so. At 7:06. Yeah. Did you get your 670 fill? I was looking for at least a push down to 50 on that move. Super trappy this morning, guys. Why is... What are you targeting off your 650 field crash? Still got 2 minutes 40 seconds left on this next candle. This thing's just... This is what I was kind of worried about pre-market. This is what I was talking about, like just the super choppy here at the opening with all these wicks, guys. There, this thing just retraced that whole wick. Kind of like to see us print below this 4-hour candle. So kind of like to see this 50 get hit here, then push back into the 70s on that print of this new 5-minute candle. $20 seconds left on this 5-minute candle. The only thing that sucks about this is trying to get short into the 600s, guys. These are the kind of the hardest moves to catch whenever it's just breaking down like this. What's up, man? How are you doing? Holy goodness, man. Insane. We got another pivot here at 98, so we still got a long time before this freaking candle comes to an end, though. Man, did anybody catch this short? This is just... I know if I try to FOMO in this thing's just gonna go pull all the way back up, and I'm just standing there sitting on my hands. Oh no, no FOMO. It's the first 50 hit. This thing's just blasting every level, guys. Nice on your long from earlier. Godly, man. Oh, goodness. This is a 140.5 minute candle, guys. Wow. Push. Should get back up to 64 here. We should run into resistance at 64. Okay. I got my 30 points there. I could have held it for more, but like I said, I only look for 30 points on those runners like that. All right. Switch accounts. We probably did leave a little bit on the table, but that's okay. We made 125 off of that for the funded account on Elusive. I want, and we get back above this pivot here at 98. I'll have to say this could be the rejection too. I will long above this pivot, maybe. Maybe we'll look for a little long above the pivot. I wish it was a new candle. I hate jumping in on these half candles. Wow, what a nice freaking move back to the top side. What a recovery candle. So that was your first whole number hit. So hit the bottom of this candle. You want to see it pull back to 600. You want to see it hold at 98 here. That was a 100-point candle. God, why couldn't we stayed in that one? What's up, Michael? Dang. I wanted to pull the trigger off that retest of the 98,600, but man, I hate jumping in on these half candles. Trying to wait for a new print. Glad we didn't take that. Like I said, anytime I take losses, it's always me jumping in, dear, not on a new candle. You're on Forex. Do we have news at 10 o'clock? I don't know what the puppies are barking at. Oh, shoot. What's up, iTrades? I guess we do have news coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. So just be aware of that if you're in your position. What do we got? 4 minutes? Definitely don't want to get stuck in a freaking news candle. Looks like we may be waiting to the news here. So just be aware that if you're in that long still. I'm trying to look real quick. I don't want to be thinking there's a news coming and there's nothing. Yeah. We had 3 minutes. We got PMI numbers, non-manufacturing PMI numbers. So, okay, so we're just going to stick on the sidelines and wait because I'm not going to get stuck in a news candle. So just be aware that if you're taking trades that we have PMI numbers here in a few minutes. 2 minutes. So might as well just sit back and drink your coffee for the next 2 minutes unless you're in a trade. Protect your profits. So far, we are 2 trades in. The first trade, we didn't make any money off our runner. We got stopped out on the runner. The second trade, we got the full amount. We got our 30-something points that we look for. So we're up 120 at the moment. And so we were trying to find maybe one more funded a trade for the Solusive. So I'm going to sit on the sidelines. I'm not even touching this until we gotta see what happens with this news candle. I would kind of like to see the move back to the top side. That's kind of been the ideal play here lately. You know, big pullbacks, then run back up to the highs again. So I've been very iffy on taking shorts lately. I hated that I missed that full short there. We were just, man, one move too early on that short. 50 seconds, guys. 50 seconds. I'm hoping nothing really happens because I hate news candles. I hate when you have these big single candles or big massive wicks. I prefer just to be something very simple, maybe a little wick past a previous low or a previous high, then come back down to reality. So how much will Bitcoin fall? Man, I have no idea. I heard that it's been falling. I figure hopefully eventually it offers some good buy opportunities. I've been buying nothing but XRP lately. So hopefully I don't mind XRP coming down a little bit, get a little cheaper. That wasn't too bad of a candle. See if we break back above the 600s again here. Uh-oh, I hate when it does that. I hate when I come within like 1 point of hitting my first target, then it stalls here. Some B. Come on. It's 98. We need 98, 600 to hold. Watch this thing stop me out and just blast off here. Oof. Look at her go. We're following this thing up. I'm going to get my 30 points. Like I said, I just want my 30 points. Woof. Got my 30 points. Oh, wow. I mean, I'm talking about to the point on the 30. I probably left more on the table, guys. If you want to be greedy and take whatever more, that's up to you. That is up to you, whatever you're trying to make. But I have what I'm trying to make and get out. So, all right. As you can see, we're just looking for 30 points. We hit another, like, because remember, I got to have over $100 to get as a trading day with Lucif. So we hit $125 on both accounts to the tick. So, all right. So 2 nice funded accounts that we can be done with. That 68 or 98 was the level to hold. That's why I had my stop loss sitting at 94. Even though I got stopped out on the first one, I was planning on re-entering if we broke that 98 again. Because I like to trade in between pivots, above pivots. The safer way is to wait when we print above it and to wick back in it. But man, these candles are just so massive that they're what, 100-point candles. If you just try to squeeze 10, 20, 30 points. Man. All right, if we take any more trades now, we're going to go to a eval. We're going to go, we have another My Funded Futures eval that we're going to trade. I don't know if I'll get a My Funded Futures trade. Man, I don't know. It's very tempting, how big these moves are. I just know I'm pushing it with the fundeds because we've already taken 4 funded trades. So we may just switch over to eval. Now, this thing can pull back and retest the 600s. I would really like a long off of that if we could get that and make it a cheaper trade. That would be the cheapest way to get in. This may go on up there without us. I'm looking for a pivot retest or even, let's see. There's another level at 08. There's the first hit. See this, man, I couldn't pull the trigger. I wanted to, I just couldn't do it. As soon as I hesitated, it was gone without me. I think I'll just wait for the next candle. That was so quick. That was like almost what, a 45-point rip from up and down. The volatility is insane, man. Oh my goodness. You cannot hesitate. The entry would have been back down there around the 600, right above the 98. You would have had to place that order. to make that happen. I would be okay if this turns into kind of like a in a big wick, small body candle. Then whatever way the next candle breaks, you can look for entry. I mean, it did hit right off the pivot. I just don't know if it's going to hold this next push. I'm just going to try this because it's an eval. I don't recommend taking this with funded accounts, guys. No funded trades. I'm done with fundeds. We will be a little bit more aggressive with the evals here. I don't want nobody to mess up their funded accounts on these just, you know, eval trades. The only accounts that I ever recommend anybody following is, you know, if you want to follow fundeds, because those are the ones that I really make sure I put my very best effort in my funded trades. About to have a new 5-minute candle, so be careful here. This thing could literally go all the way back up here, go down here, then come back up. With my evals, I trade a little bit more on the aggressive side because I'm just trying to pass them. Where fundeds, I use just very strict stop losses in my, like I have a certain amount that I'm willing to lose on my funded account. So 120 is usually my max I'll lose on a funded account. Evals, I'll take a stop loss and probably put it where it needs to be a lot of times. I don't know. This thing feels like it's struggling to get through the 50% current. So I'm going to go to break even, and we can always re-enter if we get another pullback here. So runner may get stopped out here. Actually, I'm just going to risk a few points so it's right below the whole number here. Got to get through the 50% mark here. For the VWAP folks, we have VWAP sitting at 677 for anybody that follows that moving average. And another thing with my evals, man, sometimes I'll hold these up to like 50, 60, or 100 points in profit. All right, so I think there was a lot of news today. We had PMI numbers this morning. A lot of news. I'm not really sure. What do y'all think? I mean, how can we go back up to the highs? I don't even know, man, at this point. I'm just on the ride at the moment. I just hope it doesn't get up 50, 60 points and come back and stop me out for zero. If it was my fundeds, I would. I've been doing that with my fundeds this morning, just looking for 30, 40 points. But being an eval, where's that 200 moving average at? How about we just lock in 20 and whatever happens, happens. So anytime I hit the 75, I always anticipate a pullback into the 50s and 60s. So I like to trade in between whole numbers. I don't know if anybody ever watches the Nasdaq that closely or how closely you watch it. But never take trades into whole numbers, which I mean by like 50, 75, or whatever the 100 number is, at least on the first hit. Most of the time you're going to get rejection out of your 70s. A lot of times I like to short in between whole numbers. So like if we're going, say, 275, I'd wait for the pullback between 60 to 50, because most time you do get a pullback into the 50s. And then as it's going back above 60, we'd grab the long heading back up to like say 90. Then most time it's going to reject up there between the 90 and the whole number. Unless it's just like a news candle where it's just on, you know, one of those freight trade type moves. So I'm hoping between the 50 and these few little wicks here might help us out here. And this could go all the way back up to, and this is what also the 4-hour low from that 4-hour candle from earlier. We're on the 5-minute time frame. I take all my entries on 5 minutes, but I'm constantly watching the hourly candles. So these single individually squares that you see on my charts are hourly candles. The purple ones are your 4-hour candles. So this way, you know, when you ran a 4-hour low or 1-hour low. These smaller boxes, these are your 15-minute candles. Dude, this thing's like choo choo. This thing's like goodness. Not stopping. At least we didn't have to watch it go all the way back up like we did have to watch it go down. I'm gonna give it 175 pullback before we decide to sell our position. Because we just hit the whole number here. See how we just hit the 700. I was waiting to see if 75 is going to hold here. So even if we got a pullback to the 80, I'd be okay with the pullback to the 80. They're just open range indicators. That I just set the time and just make them whatever color you want to make them. There's your first 79.80 touch. You can kind of see that on your Rico candles for anybody that. So Rico candles pulled back to the 80. So this is kind of where you like to see it continue here. You don't want to see another pullback here. Eventually, you're going to get that 21 pullback on these Rico candles to the 67. Hopefully, it moves up a little bit higher before that happens. once we lose the VWAP, we'll probably close this. There's your first VWAP push off the 76, 75. Now, where I get very iffy at, once we pull back into our opening 15-minute candle here. See, we still could pull back to 67 here. I'll share my Discord in a minute, and you can go to that Discord and get that indicator for free if you want it. Did we get the 67 hit? There's your 67 hit to the T. All right, we're gonna have to start following this up because it's not going to hit that 67 again. If it does, it's coming back through. So we'll just put our stop loss there. Hit 67 on the teat. We're about to have a new 5-minute candle. So I don't know what's going to happen with this new 5-minute candle. It don't matter. We get stopped out, we get stopped out. Not a big deal. All right, just couldn't take out that 67 again, could it? Like I said, there's still no guarantees because we need to break above this high here. If we don't break this high, more likely, excuse me, it's coming back down. You guys see, I mean, there's tons of wicks in this area. So it may get stopped out on this push. I mean, you're only going to get so many pushes before it, takes you out on these Pacific levels. If you're trading level to level or whatever level you may be using to take your entries. You can see all these wicks, man. I don't know if we even get through this without some kind of big pullback here. If we lose 67, you're probably just going to go back down to what, 64, maybe 50? Uh. All right, I'm gonna at least lock in 50 points. This thing's just taking way too long to move up there. And I don't know how long we're gonna, like I said, man, there are so many wicks up there. Or maybe we'll try to survive one more 5-minute candle. How about we do that? We'll try to survive one more 5-minute candle. No, it's not surviving it. Oh, well. All right. What time is it? 10:30. So basically it came back to hit your, what, 50 EMA on the 5 minutes? So we can try, I mean, we can still look for more trades. We just have to rotate, switch to a different account. Let's see. Some of these evals are like brand new. I've never even, that was my first trade on that, my funded futures, 50K. Let's see. And we got elusive. We got this elusive 25K that we've never taken a trade on yet. Let me find my Rico candles here. I don't know. I'm not going to touch the longs, guys. This longs just seem very iffy up here. You're going to be running into the previous day close, previous day high, and all-time highs. I took a loss yesterday, and oh, the PMIs didn't do anything. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't. Every time I take a loss, it's always up there around all-time highs. Like yesterday, I tried to take a long up there yesterday at all-time highs and ended up taking a loss. That was my only loss yesterday too. The one trade you should never take is that you need to wait till you break all-time highs and kind of build like some structure above it. Then maybe you can find something. But we were like 60 points away and we were getting this type of price action where it was just going up real like, you know, up high, back down, up high. I mean, it was just super wicky. Well, hopefully mostly everybody's green today. You know, if you did take a loss, hopefully it's not too bad. You know, we blew up your account or something. Remember, guys, I do my best not to over leverage. So even if I take a loss, it's usually no more than like $100 to $200 on these accounts. So usually the only trade you'll see me take a big loss on sometimes would be evals. But fundeds, it's always the same loss. So, like, we took a loss yesterday on our fundeds. That was my one loss yesterday too. And I think it was for 129. Yeah. So you can see, this is what I mean by, like, any loss I take on my fundeds, it's always the same, except for some reason I feel like back in December, I took 2 losses back to back in one day because I lost 415 for some reason. But I don't remember what that loss was from, why I did that, but I did. But this is how I've been able to keep these same funded accounts for the last 6 or 7 months. And this is if I can get this one back to payout, it'll be the 3rd payout on this particular account. But unfortunately, I've been stuck. Like, it seems like anytime I get within like $600 or $700 from payout, I've been getting stuck. So we took a 133 loss yesterday on these accounts. 169. What is that one? 144. 140. So usually they're always the same. This way you don't blow up your accounts. Unless you like to do the over leveraging and, you know, try to get to do that quicker. There is the thing that I see a lot of like other streamers doing with that, where they're just basically going in super heavy. Look at the Rico candles. I like to use Rico candles for trend. So this is why you'll see me looking at Rico candles. And you'll see me look at these levels too when they're holding. So that 67 that we kept kind of missing a while ago is coming from these Rico candles. So for anybody that likes Rico candles. Man, this thing's just going to go to the moon. That's okay. I don't have no reason to jump back in at the moment. So it looks like we did leave what? We were long from 26. Did it hit the 100 points? Yep. That was a 100-point move. So lost a little bit. Anybody still holding long? Maybe if we can print above the 30s here. We need to print above 29. Your next pivot is up there at 670, but that's also freaking all-time highs. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised this thing gets back up into the 800s. I mean, you got all-time highs sitting up there, what, almost 820? So, Crash, how did you do off your entries this morning? Did you make pretty good money on that one long you took earlier, the very first setup? TikTok, I'll make sure I watch the try to keep eye on the charts, but for some reason, if my charts just close out of nowhere, usually that means TikTok closes my live stream down. So if you're ever in my live stream and it just shuts down, and that's because of TikTok. I don't really know what I'm doing to cause that, but I don't know if that's because people maybe leave their live streams going and TikTok just shuts them down. And what it is, they give me a warning that they're going to shut it down, but sometimes I miss it. But like I said, usually I'll start it right back up because I miss it. But sometimes I do miss it and it'll just shut off randomly. Not really anything to do here, guys. Like I said, very, very scary to long up in this area at all-time highs. I mean, I'm not saying that we don't go all the way back up to 820, but we just don't know. You're just so high up in the leg. And right now we're at the previous day high. Well, about what, 40 points off? All-time highs is sitting up there at 810. We're just going to kind of sit on our hands at the moment. Your next pivot is going to be at 860. Let's see. $767. Or maybe if we can print above the 30 here. I mean, you almost need a print above the 30. But even then, you're only looking at maybe 10 points before we find resistance. And this is also our 15-minute candle too. So downtown. Now, this is usually a short setup off of that 15-minute candle. That was the 50% pullback of the 15-minute candle from this morning. So technically, this would be your short. Come on. Whew. So look, 50%, 28. I mean, it still paid almost 60, 50 points, but I didn't take it. So a lot of times you'll see me look for this setup. I haven't been taking it in a while. So basically, look, you're just looking for a 50% pullback into the 9 o'clock 15-minute candle. And you can see we have that little blue line marked out. That's the 50% of that 15-minute candle. But it's always super tough to grab shorts at all-time highs. How's everybody else's trading going today? Is there anybody currently in a position? If so, like, what are you looking for? Or like, what's your target you're looking for? Ooh, about to have a new freaking 5-minute candle here. I'd much rather that print above that 30 than I would below the 30. A lot of wicks in this area, guys. A lot of wicks. So you're just going to get a lot of like back and forth price action at the moment. This type of price action usually what'll just mess up your account because you'll buy like into like you'll buy in late or something, especially on 5-minute candles. That's usually where I get my trouble myself in trouble, is because I'll buy like 3-4 minutes into the 5-minute candle instead of buying within that first minute or so. I'm looking for a candle to print above the 30s here. I mean, I feel like that's the safer for my eval trade here, is you need to break back above the 30s here. Sorry if you guys hear me chewing mint. I've been dealing with like some kind of sinus infection and sore throat. That's why we didn't make it on the stream last night, man. I felt horrible last night. I think I was asleep by like 7 o'clock last night. I don't know if I got it from one of the family members coming to visit over, or if I got it from cutting some grass the other day and just staring up all the, freshly springtime grass. Not really sure, because the grass was thick because it's been raining so much lately. Push. We've had a nice little streak on our Lucif accounts lately. We're up 327 and 380 in 2 different Lucif fundeds. And I've just recently started getting funded accounts with Luciv. Like this is only like my third and fourth funded account with Luciv. And you got to get to $1,000 in these 25Ks minimum to take $500 a piece out of them. The only issue with that, you hear, oh, there we go. We're finally breaking the 30s. It took a lot to get through there, didn't it? Previous day close and open sitting there at 43. So kind of anticipate a little bouncing there. I like to see this area hold up here above the 30s. Let's see, make sure I got that. 29 actually. Still got 40 seconds left on this. Looks like we're not even going to get a clean close. Oh my goodness. Some ugly, ugly 5-minute candles. I was hoping for a cleaner close above the 30 level. Ooh. For Rico candles, if you start losing a lot of times, I mean, it's still looking very bullish as far as trend goes. I just don't know what it's going to take for us to get through like between the 40s and 60s. I think even if you long up here, you're just constantly going to be fighting those like multiple levels unless we get some kind of like crazy news or something to make us pop through the previous day close and open, or the previous day high sitting up there at 63. Like I said, that's kind of what I was saying. Almost every loss that I've been taking recently because of these all-time highs, most of the time it's always within like 50 points of all-time highs. Because you're just getting this type of price action where you're just getting these huge wicks on these candles. So there's just not really anything to do here, at least not for myself, besides just sit on my hands. Honestly, I would prefer us to go back down. If I had to pick, I would just prefer us to try to rerun the lows or something instead of fighting these highs. Oh my goodness. Ugh. Is there anybody stuck in a long right now? Did you guys get long? Anybody get long up here at the top? Or maybe you're a DCA player or a person, like were you DCAing back into trades? Or maybe you just went in with one micro or a couple micros or something. The worst is when you go in with the mini and you don't get much of a pullback. On these candles like today where they're wicking back and forth 40 and 50 points, yeah, I think that's $1,000 with the mini. You're actually short, but I shorted from 31. Dude, nice. I like the short from 31s. That's actually my line in the sand for the Bulls Bears is that 31 level. I was actually looking for a print above 31 for a possible long, but you can see we're just struggling to get through the 31s up there. And that's also at that 15-minute 50% of the 15-minute candle. So I trade off of the opening 15-minute candle from 9 o'clock to 9:15. So the way I do my shorts and longs in the morning, if wherever we're at on that 15-minute candle, that's usually which direction most of the time I will pick for my entry. So because those early morning trades, if we're below the 15 minutes, that opening 15 minutes, shorts all the way, below it or above it, only look for longs. All right, let's see here. Let's see if we get a little print here below the, kind of like to see if this just shorts are going to continue. You kind of need to get back below the VWAP here. About to have a new 5-minute candle. Just want to make sure we got, that's the bottom of the range there. We got the current mid, which is the 50% of the total move today. There's your 50%. Ooh. Nice rejection at the bottom of the range. Did you hit your target, IBE? Are you still holding for a bigger move? Oh, 631. Oh, I was thinking 731. I'm sorry. I didn't notice that was 631 short. Okay, so you're aiming for the lows. Okay. We did pretty good this morning. We're green on all of our accounts. I don't think we took any losses this morning. I had a couple little runners get stopped out, but we're up 120. We're up about 120 in 3 different accounts. So what's that? About 380 between 3 accounts. 2 of them were fundeds and 1 was eval. So it's been a good morning so far. I got in 1 move too early on this big short. I shorted this candle here. I got my 10 points and I got stopped out on the runner. And the very next candle literally dumped 100 points. So I got stuck watching this whole candle. But lucky enough, we caught most of the move back up this morning. So that's where all of our trades came from, was on the big move back up. But we missed mostly the whole move down. So you know how it is whenever the market's just selling off. It's so hard to jump in, especially when I'm watching 5-minute candles. I'm so worried about just the huge rejection sometimes when we get these big candles like this. The 5-minute wicks that you can get sometimes are just insane. Right now we're just trading eval trades. So if I can find another eval trade, we'll grab one. But right now we're not really finding anything. I thought this was going to be the beginning of the sell-off here, but we got stuck at the 50% mark here. But you can see there's multiple wicks there. What did Bitcoin get down to? I saw a little TikTok this morning saying it was down to 60 something thousand. I haven't looked at it in the last few. So, oh, 65K. Okay. Kind of want to short out this pivot and see if we can get a cheap trade here. Not pivot, but the not pivot, but VWAP here. Like I said, eval only, guys. Eval only. And this is at the bottom of the range, so got to be very iffy when you're at the bottom of the range. It's like, nope, fake out. Could get faked out here because this is at the bottom of the range. This is eval only too. And I will close it back above like 79 or so, back above that VWAP. Then this is probably should just be a scalp. If we can just run this previous wick, we should be fine. All right, don't know if we're gonna get what kind of move we're gonna get on the runner here. Pivots back down at 600. Big wick here, big wick there, so definitely could be a lot of rejection here. All right, about to have a new 5-minute candle. Now this could stay inside this range and go all the way back up here. Shit. See if we get another VWAP touch. 73. Wow, what a fake out that was. Fake out. Holy shit, dude. Oh, goodness. This is what we're talking about, these big, massive wicks on the 5 minutes, man. Oh, these things are massive. This thing got, has it got 10 points to run back up there at 31 here? Let's see. Now this is eval only, guys. Remember that. I'm only trading evals here. We're only going to risk 10 points here. So back below the VWAP, we will close this. Keep my hand on the close button just in case. One more VWAP touch. Remember, guys, this is only 3 micros. So we have room to let it pull back. Still struggling to get back through our whole number here. This is also an eval, no funded. Still struggling a little bit to get through the 700s here. But have a new 5-minute candle. So really need to see some expansion on this next 5-minute candle where you just have like a little wick when it prints, maybe a pullback into the 90s or even the 90s and then just explode. 84 is kind of the line in the sand here, 84 to 80. And I may even add to it if 80 can hold. If we lose to 80, it's probably going back down. $73 is the last level. Shoot, I didn't realize it was after 11 already, guys. This will have to be my last trade here. I have to get my stuff set up for my funded futures. You guys are more than welcome to join us on my funded futures from 11:30 to 12:30. I don't know if this thing's gonna be able to handle a second push. Like we got the first push down it held. Usually the second push, you usually don't get a second push because you're not gonna get these levels hold up multiple times. So basically, if we lose this trade, it'll just be a break-even trade. How do I join that? I'm not sure what do you mean that? All right, there's our last level here, guys. So if it breaks 74, it's coming through. So runner's going to probably get stopped out here. My funded futures. Oh, it's just a YouTube channel. It's the same as this on YouTube. Well, I'm not sure. They may be on TikTok. I'm not sure. I haven't really tried to watch them on TikTok. Whew. I'm surviving. I'm kind of shocked we survived that push. Push. I'll have to look on TikTok and see if they're there for you, Sean. Let's see. Guys, if this thing pushes back down, it's probably going to stop us out. We survived that one push. Usually you do not survive multiple pushes. No, I don't really see a live on here. I see videos, but no lives. Little inside bar here. You're holding. Dude, that's a pretty wild hold. How deep are you in to be holding from 631? Uh, 18 would be the next level here. If you're still looking for longs, you got to get through the 31s here. Oh, okay. That's not bad at all. I've been wanting to trying to figure out how I can enter some of my trades with 1 micro and add to it. But this price action is so wicky today, guys. This type of price action right here will ruin your account so fast. Like if you're buying in too late. So let's just say, hey, I got long up there at 710. You're already pulled back 20 points. It's just wild the size of these candles at the moment. And this is usually where I'll take most of my losses on my funded accounts because the wicks are pulling back so crazy. Okay, once it comes back near your entry again, you add in. Okay. Usually my rule of thumb is I start off with 3 micros and I'll look for 10 points. And this way I can still have a negative. So right now, even though I'm sitting 20 points in drawdown, it's still a break-even trade. Because I started off with 3 micros, hit that first 2 micros with the 10 points. This way it allows me to have a free trade and still sit and draw down a little bit, 10 to 20 points. Or I can even go 25 and risk 10 bucks or something like that. So that's why you always see me going for that first initial 10 points. This way I can still sit and draw down and it's still a free trade. Or if it does cost you something, it doesn't, it's very little. I actually had that feeling after those big moves we had this morning that at some time of the day when we lose all of our volume, we're just going to turn into a chop fest. Luckily, the range is pretty good size, so you're able to at least get 10, 20, 30 points out of, but there's just no more follow through. So usually when it turns into this, you're better off just going for 10 to 20 points and taking your profit, because more likely none of my runners are going to probably continue just getting stopped out over and over. So that's usually the, when price action starts doing this, it's just what it turns into. What sucks is when you're on the wrong side of the trade, then you lose a whole, 20, 30 points on your trade. So I don't think we're only up $60 in this account at the moment. And if it comes back and stops me out, so we'll probably be left with like 10, $20 if this stops me out here. Oh, man. Well, thank you guys for watching this morning. Hopefully the rest of your day is a okay trading day. Just be careful. It's very choppy. You don't really want to lose your account. Or if you are going to play the range, just start off small. Go in with a few micros, test the waters, just to make sure that we are going to move in that direction. Because eventually it is going to fail one way or the other. And it's just going to be either a straight dump fest or we're going back to all-time highs. So it looks like my runner's probably going to get stopped out here. No, it's just teasing it, huh? I just want to go down there and say hi. Oh, no. Oh. It's like, gotcha, bitch. That's literally what it feels like. It's going to go down there and wick it and then go the opposite direction. That's just this type of price action we're in at the moment. Oh, goodness. Stay away from the minis if you're trading small accounts. So you got to think just one of these candles is $1,000 on a mini. Some of these like 30, 40, or takes 50 points to make $1,000 on the NQ. All right. Thank you guys. Everyone have a good evening, and hopefully I'll feel fine this evening and we will be back for the Asia market. Or if you want to continue watching me and Methodical Man, we will be on My Funded Futures on YouTube in about 15 minutes. Find my stuff. Uh-oh, hopefully I didn't mess up that. All right. Thank you guys. Be careful the rest of the day. Remember, anytime we get next to these all-time highs, the price action just turns into garbage.